Hi, everybody. This is True Crime Alert. How are you? I
Hi,
think you know
everybody.
me.
Hi, everybody. This is Crime Fighter, Mr. Crime Fighter.
Woo! And we wanted to talk to you a little bit about Ethan Crumbly and Ethan Crumbly's parents. And so because here's what happened this morning. Let's update on what happened this morning. What happened this morning was Ethan Crumbly, the Michigan school shooter, we know who he is. His parents were charged with manslaughter, but they weren't arrested. I thought they were
That's right.
arrested, but I was wrong.
That's what everybody said.
Yeah, everybody said they were arrested, but they weren't arrested.
Yeah, come to find out, they only had warrants for their arrest, and they were searching for them.
And I thought they'd already arrested them, but they hadn't. So here's where we're at right now. They have the arrest warrants for manslaughter, 4 counts each for Jennifer and Ethan's dad, but they can't find them. So now we're be on the lookout, and there's a manhunt underway for Ethan's mom and dad. So we want to play this for you guys real quick, and let's get caught up. You ready, babe?
Yes, I'm ready. Let's go.
Carolyn, a press release just went out from the sheriff's office indicating they are looking for the public's assistance to locate Jennifer and James Crumbly. Now, just in the last couple of minutes, we received a statement from the attorney for both of them. And that attorney telling us that the Crumblys left town on the night of the tragic shooting for their own safety. They are returning to the area to be arraigned, and saying they are not fleeing from law enforcement despite recent comments in the media. Now, with that, I want Carolyn, a press release just went out from the sheriff's office indicating they are looking for the public's assistance to locate Jennifer and James Crumbly. Now, just in the last couple of minutes, we received a statement from the attorney for both of them. And that attorney telling us that the Crumblys left town on the night of the tragic shooting for their own safety. They are returning to the area to be arraigned, and saying they are not fleeing from law enforcement despite recent comments in the media. Now, with that, I want to go to the undersheriff who's here with us now. You've had contact with that attorney throughout the day, earlier today especially. What did she say to you about their location and their whereabouts?
Well, we've had 2 contacts with her. She contacted us this morning, 8 o'clock, 8:15, to indicate that she was their attorney, and that if a warrant, the key word here, if a warrant was issued for their arrest, she would make arrangements for us to arrest them. I know her office is just down the street here, but we made no arrangements for them to turn themselves in. We're looking for them. If a warrant's issued, we go out and arrest people.
We've just identified them as fugitives, in fact. So what is your urgent message to anyone that might know where they are? You know, we've heard from the attorney at this point, but what's your position?
Yeah, well, the attorney told us she would let us know. If a warrant was issued, then we could arrest them then, right? Since then, we had contact with her when we found out this morning from the news media that the prosecuting attorney was authorizing warrants and calling a press conference. That's how we found out about the warrant. We didn't know ahead of time. We had no heads up.
You're asking the public now if they know where they are.
We're asking the public now if they know. Call the sheriff's office at 858-248-858-4911, 248-858-4911. That's our dispatch. Tell us where they are, and we'll go arrest them. We're currently looking for them with the assistance of the U.S. Marshal's Office and our fugitive apprehension team.
Okay, Undersheriff, thank you for talking with us.
Okay, you guys, they are looking for them. At this very moment, they are looking for them. So what do you guys think? Do you think they're going to get caught? Do you think they're not going to get caught? Something's going on with my...
Uh-oh, difficult.
This is what always... It starts out gangbusters, and it starts doing this. It's not one to watch.
An update tonight about a woman who says someone nearly killed her while she was riding her bike last month.
Wrong.
You literally hit my body and left me on the side of the road. And for all you know, I'm dead alive, but clearly you didn't care at the moment.
Police think they know who's responsible for breaking that woman's clavicle. Fox 35's Danielle Lau has the exclusive details on how they cracked the case.
Police say they got a hit on the truck's license plate, but it didn't lead straight to a suspect because the plate belonged to...
I'm so sorry, you guys. I'm trying to get this caught up, and it's not wanting to catch up with me. So we have new information about why Ethan was called to the classroom. You want to tell him?
Oh, yeah. He was searching for ammo on his phone. His teacher just happened to see what he was searching for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so she was good enough to take a picture of what he was drawing or looking for, and that's why he got called to the office with his parents.
Yeah, she seen that he was looking for ammo to buy ammo on his phone. And that's when the teacher turned it in and said, "Hey, this kid's searching for ammo on his phone. Let's have a meeting right now." So they called him in for the meeting. And let me update you a little bit on some extra stuff that we just found out that's here on Yahoo. It said the parents of teen suspect in Michigan school shooting charged with involuntary manslaughter. Gosh, what is going on? A Michigan prosecutor on Friday filed involuntary manslaughter charges against the parents of the teenage suspect in the deadly shooting at Oxford High School in Oxford Township, Michigan. At a press conference in Pontiac, Michigan, Oakland County prosecutor Karen McDonald announced the charges against Jennifer and James Crumbly, whose 15-year-old son, Ethan, is alleged to have carried out Tuesday's rampage. I don't think it's alleged. I think he really did, which left 4 students dead and 7 others, including a teacher, injured. This is awful, you guys. This is awful. It's unbelievable. While the shooter was the one who entered the high school and pulled the trigger, there are other individuals who contributed to the events on November 30th, McDonald said, and it is my intention to hold them accountable. It is imperative that we prevent this from happening again. No other parent or community should have to live through this nightmare. Shortly after McDonald's press conference, there were conflicting reports on the parents' whereabouts. Oakland County Sheriff Michael Bouchard told CNN that the Crumblies were considered missing and the FBI and U.S. Marshals Service were helping local police track down the couple. There they are, guys, if you've seen them, because they're on the run right now. I think their attorney said they weren't, but I think they are.
Yeah,
What
I
do you
think
think?
so. I think they're fleeing the country. So
I'm hoping to God we're not going to enter another Brian Laundrie situation where they start going straight to the swamp and looking for him.
this is responsible parents at large. Their kids in jail and they're on the run. Heck with the kid. Let's save our own skin.
Yeah, he's done anyway. They're thinking he's not getting back out, and they're probably right. They're probably right. Their son's not getting back out.
Yeah.
So let's see. If they think they are going to get away, they are not, Bouchard told the network. However, Jennifer and James, Crumbly's lawyer, told the Daily Beast that the couple is returning to the area to be arraigned. They are not fleeing from law enforcement, despite recent comments in media reports. Now, you guys just seen that report where he's saying they didn't come in, and yeah, they are fleeing from law enforcement.
Yeah, you're right.
But police are not buying lawyers' statement that Crumblies are returning to the area, CNN reported. So police aren't believing that they're going to be returned to the area. So gun ownership is a right, and with that right comes great responsibility, McDonald said before detailing the charges. According to prosecutors, James Crumbly purchased the Sig Sauer 9mm semi-automatic handgun, the weapon allegedly used by his son, 4 days before the shooting, you guys. 4 days before. A store employee told investigators that Ethan Crumbly was with his father at the time of the purchase. So he took Ethan gun shopping, is what he did. Hey, Ethan,
Made
let's
sure
go
it fit
buy
in
you.
his teenage hand.
Yeah, let's go buy you a Christmas present, Ethan. Where would you like to go? Where would you like to go, Ethan?
Discount auto or discount firearms.
I like Discount Auto too, but
Yeah.
anyway, so Ethan chose Discount Firearms to choose his Christmas present. So his dad took him with him. 4 days before the shooting, a store employee told investigators Ethan Crumbly was with his father at the time of the purchase. The same day, Ethan posted photos of the gun to social media with the caption, "Just got my new beauty today," McDonald said. So Ethan is already showing this gun the day that it was purchased. It wasn't given to him on Christmas. It wasn't hid from him or stored somewhere. They give it to him probably the day that it was purchased from the gun shop. I'm not sure. So the next day, Jennifer Crumbly, that's Ethan's mom, posted to social media suggesting that she and Ethan were testing out the gun, which she referred to as his new Christmas present. Ethan's new Christmas present, you guys. Boy, is he getting a good present this year, isn't he? Let's see what he does with it.
Yeah.
On November 21st, McDonald said a teacher at Oxford High School observed Ethan searching online for ammunition with his cell phone during class. You guys, Ethan's looking for ammo during class on his cell phone and reported it to school officials who informed Jennifer Crumbly but received no response from either parent. No response. So they informed mom and dad, this kid's trying to buy ammo at school. And they just went, no response. The same day, McDonald said Jennifer Crumbly exchanged text messages with her son about the reported incident, including one that read, "LOL," which is laugh out loud, "I'm not mad at you. You have to learn not to get caught." So that's some wonderful advice there, Mom. Instead of telling him, "Hey, how about not taking a gun to school and shooting everybody up? Don't kill anybody." My advice to you is you have to learn not to get caught, Ethan. And it's funny. She
Yeah.
thinks it's funny. LOL. I'm not mad at you. Learn not to get caught, Ethan. Oh my God, this is crazy.
That's what I used to tell my brothers when they get in trouble all the time. Just learn not to get caught. I wouldn't tell that to my kids, though.
No,
That's not right.
that's not the advice you give to your kids. On the morning of the shooting, a teacher saw a note on Ethan's desk, including a drawing of a semi automatic handgun next to the words, "The thoughts won't stop. Help me," and a bullet below the words, "Blood everywhere." The note also included drawings of figures with gunshot wounds, as well as the phrases, "My life is useless," and "The world is dead." Oh my goodness.
It is now. You make what you
Some of it is.
wish. Yeah.
Some of the world's dead, thanks to Ethan. You know, this really reminds me of Aiden Fucci.
Kind of.
Because Aiden Fucci, he's the one that stabbed the 15-year-old girl to death, Tristan Bailey. Aiden Fucci is the one that killed her.
And mom tried to hide evidence from the cops.
Yes, the mom tried to hide evidence from the cops, and he also had a notebook talking about the voices in his head and blood everywhere and the demons taking over and all this good stuff. It seems like a lot of these that happen like this have these notebooks, a diary of some sort. So the teacher was so alarmed, she took a photo of the note with her cell phone. Jennifer and James Crumbly were immediately summoned to the school, McDonald said, and a school counselor pulled Ethan from class to meet with his parents. Ethan removed the note from his backpack, but it had already been altered with the images of the gun and disturbing phrases scratched out, McDonald said. So Ethan was already doing mop up. He knew he was being called to the principal because of what he had wrote on there about the voices in his head and blood everywhere and pictures of the gun that he drew.
He knew it was wrong.
Yeah, he knew it was wrong. School officials told Jennifer and James Crumbly that they were required to find counseling for their son within 48 hours. McDonald said both parents failed to ask their son if he had his gun with him and did not inspect his backpack. Prosecutors believe that the gun he allegedly used in the shooting was in his backpack at the meeting. Oh, goddamn, he's got that gun with him.
I would like to add the school didn't inspect the backpack either, or ask Ethan if the gun was in his backpack.
Oh, that's true. The school didn't ask him either. Yeah. If I had seen that note, I kind of want to know what you got in your backpack there, buddy. I mean, nobody asked him. This kid just kind of fell through the cracks on this one. Like, how could you not even ask him that? Well, I know why mom and dad didn't ask him.
Yeah, they didn't.
They didn't want him to get caught. She told him, get better
don't
at not getting caught, Ethan. And so that's why they didn't ask what's in that backpack. I think they knew what was in there.
They might have.
So Jennifer and James Crumbly resisted the idea of their son leaving the school at that time. They left the school and he returned to the classroom. Can you believe this kid returned to the classroom right after that? Yeah. Let me see. Let's do a little recap. So he's drawn a picture and it says blood everywhere. It has a gun on it. And then he also says, I can't stop the voices in my head.
The world is dead.
The world is dead.
My life is useless.
My life is useless. Blood everywhere. And they send him back to class. Yeah. Well, let me see.
I don't know. I think I would have suspended him right there, sent him home with the parents, and then said, after you find counseling for
your
the
problems,
young gentleman, then he can come back to school.
Yeah, I can't believe that they sent him right back to class after finding all this out. Now, this is pretty extreme and in your face. I can see a few things that would usually be overlooked or found to be easily handled. But these things are very blatant and in your face. The kid is very much on the verge of sounds like a psychotic episode. Yeah, well, which basically is.
That's what he did.
Seems basically. Like.
Yeah.
So Jennifer and James Crumbly resisted the idea of their son leaving the school at that time. They left the school and he returned to the classroom. Hours later, amid news of an active shooter at the school, Jennifer Crumbly texted her son, Ethan, don't do it. Aren't you a little bit late there, Mom?
Yeah.
And let me tell you, do you think Mom had foresight as to what was going on? Because why would she text and say, Ethan, don't do it? Don't do what, Mom? Don't do what? She knew he had the gun.
So the report of the shooting happened. She texts the boy, don't do it. And the boy was supposed to check his phone and then say, oh, Mom, you're right. I'll stop right now. No, I don't think so.
But what was she trying to stop? She knew.
Yeah, she knew.
She knew he had that gun on him. And she knew he was getting ready to do something violent.
She knew it was him right up the bat.
Because if she didn't know, why would she text him, don't do it? She knew. And that's another reason why she's on the run right now, too, because she knows what's coming down the pike. On Wednesday, Ethan Crumbly was charged as an adult with 24 crimes, including first-degree murder, attempted murder, and 1 count of terrorism causing death. Oh, my God. Yeah. The terrorism charge made possible under Michigan's 2002 anti-terrorism statute is unusual, McDonald said, but reflects the severity of the crime. It does. It is terrorism.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because imagine the kids now.
Those kids, the teachers, the community, they'll never get over it.
That's terror.
Is sad.
That's terror. That sheer terror you feel when you see stuff like this go on.
Yeah.
So that's why it's terrorism. What about all the children who ran screaming, hiding under desk? She said Wednesday. What about all the children at home right now who can't eat and can't sleep and can't imagine a world where they could ever step foot back in that school? Those are victims too, and so are their families, and so is the community. The charge of terrorism reflects that. I'm sure it did. It does reflect that to me. Hi, Cheryl. Mama knew. That's why she got him again.
Yeah.
Whoa, yeah. I think
That's
so
strong.
too.
That's strong.
It's strong and it's in your face and it's horrible, but I think so too because another thing she did is don't do it. And then they go to school because, they're called in on this problem with him drawing this picture, and then they don't want to search his backpack. I don't know. I think mom and dad know an awful lot, and I think that's why mom and dad are on the lammy lamb right now. They don't, you know what I mean? They know more than what was let on to begin with. Which is crazy. I'm sorry, you guys. My equipment is going to do what it's going to do, I think. I think I did the Manhunt one, didn't I?
Let's find out.
Let's find out what Debbie's wanting to say here. Hi, Debbie. Thanks for being here. And she says gun laws would stop a whole lot of this type of occurrence. I'm thinking you're right, Debbie, but I'm thinking another thing. In this situation right here, I'm thinking gun laws probably wouldn't have stepped into play very much because dad took him dad did it. Dad took him to the gun shop, let him pick it out, I guess, unless dad picked out a 9mm for his 15-year-old and bought it for him. So the law really didn't come into play there. I mean, I guess they allowed him to take it straight home and hand it to his kid. So let's listen to just a minute of what they're going to say here about them being charged. I'm going to have to mute my mic real quick, guys, and let's listen to her again.
Good afternoon. I'm Karen McDonald. I'm the Oakland County Prosecutor. Thank you for joining me this morning. It's been a devastating week for all of us as we continue to mourn the loss of the 4 children who were shot and killed this week in Oxford High School. We've heard some positive news that some of those injured in Tuesday's shooting have made some progress recovering from physical injuries. While the physical wounds of the victims are starting to heal, the emotional wounds to the victims, students, and the entire community will last for years. I continue to work with Oakland County Sheriff Mike Bouchard and his team to stay close to the facts and evidence of this case as it continues to evolve. My role as the Oakland County Prosecutor is to seek justice for the victims of this tragedy. The family, friends, and loved ones of Hannah St. Juliana, Madison Baldwin, Tate Murr, and Justin Schilling, and the other victims have had their lives shattered. As I mentioned a few days ago, I did have the opportunity to speak with the parents of the children who were killed. Additionally, my office has reached out this morning to all of the victims who were injured. And we continue to be dedicated to offering them services and support during this time. While the shooter was the one who entered the high school and pulled the trigger, there are other individuals who contributed to the events on November 30th, and it's my intention to hold them accountable as well. It's imperative we prevent this from happening again. No other parent or community should have to live through this nightmare. I have shared previously, and I will reiterate today, that gun ownership is a right, and with that right comes great responsibility. Based on the information and evidence I have received, today I am announcing charges against the shooter's parents, Jennifer and James Crumbly. The charges are as follows. James Crumbly is charged with 4 counts of involuntary manslaughter. Jennifer Crumbly is also charged with 4 counts of involuntary manslaughter.
I'm just going to stop it right there real quick just to talk to you guys for just a second. Did you ever believe this was going to happen? Because I just did not believe that this was going to happen. Could you turn that off?
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I just didn't believe it was going to happen. I didn't believe they were going to charge the parents. And if it did, I figured it would be way down the line. Otherwise, nothing to do with manslaughter. I thought it would be some sort of negligence that they were charged with, or some sort of after the fact that they would be charged with. I'm not sure, but I really didn't think that they would be charged this fast. Did you guys think that the parents were going to be charged with manslaughter and charged this fast? I'm just wondering, because I just didn't think so. Okay, let's listen to some more of this.
I will now publish the details that led to that decision and have already previously been made public, which allows me to comment on them in a swear-to that has just taken place in the district court by Detective Tim Willis. The investigation into the school shooting incident at Oxford High School, which occurred on November 30th, 2021, has revealed that James Crumbly purchased a Sig Sauer 9mm model SP 2022 from Acme Shooting Goods in Oxford, Michigan on November 26, 2021. A store employee confirms that Ethan Crumbly was present with James at the time of the purchase. Per statute, James Crumbly completed ATF Form 5309A. On or about November 26, 21, Ethan Crumbly's social media posts reveal photos of the semi-automatic handgun, along with the caption, "Just got my new beauty today," including an emoji with hearts, "Sig Sauer 9mm. Any questions I will answer," end quote. Subsequent to the purchase of that weapon, one of Jennifer Crumbly's social media posts on about 11/27/21 read, quote, "Mom and Sunday testing out his new Christmas present," end quote. On November 21st, 21, a teacher at the Oxford High School observed Ethan Crumbly searching ammunition on his cell phone during class and reported the same to school officials. Jennifer Crumbly was contacted via voicemail by school personnel regarding that son's inappropriate internet search. School personnel indicate they followed that voicemail up with an email but received no response from either parent. Thereafter, Jennifer Crumbly exchanged text messages about the incident with her son on that day, stating, quote, "LOL, I'm not mad at you. You have to learn not to get caught."
Something.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God. Can you believe this shit? I'm with you. I'm pulling Cheryl up on stage here real quick. Hi, Cheryl. Hate to put you in the spotlight real quick. But just like Brian Laundrie, the parents failed to protect society because they were babying their asshole children. I'm going to have to go with yes. She seemed like she thought this was some kind of joke. Did you hear what Mom said? "I'm not mad at you, LOL. You just got to learn how not to get caught, Ethan." She acted like it was some kind of funny, it's between her and Ethan inside joke.
Go ahead and rampage the world. Just don't get caught at it.
I know, what kind of shit is that, Mom? Your advice is, "Oh, LOL, Ethan, I'm not mad at you, like you know that. But you just got to be better at not getting caught." That's your damn advice, Mom? What kind of damn mother is this? And let me tell you something else about his dad and buying this gun. He's an unlawful sumbitch, so actually the laws I don't think would have made a difference. I think this dad, if he couldn't have went in a shop and bought a gun, he would have black marketed little Ethan there a gun, because dad was going to get Ethan a gun no matter what. Now, you know, dad owed back child support up the yin yang, didn't give a shit, didn't have a bottom dollar left, but he still went and got his little 15-year-old son a goddamn 9mm for Christmas. I don't have enough money to pay my back child support. So he's kind of a piece of work, the dad is.
It's called integrity.
Yeah,
there is no integrity in that family.
Mm-hmm.
And you're right, Cheryl, but there was no integrity in the Laundrie family either.
No.
Just hide it and get away with it.
Yeah, hide it and get away with it, guy. Let's just shove this under the mat. But what gets me is mom is acting like it's a joke. Like, wow, Ethan, I mean, don't get caught. But did you notice later on when the shooting started, mom text with panic going, Ethan, don't do it. Now, how is it mom text Ethan, don't do it if she doesn't know anything? Don't do what, mom? Because weren't you pumping him up to do this shit to begin with? And now it's all about, oh, wait, Ethan, you might actually do this. So, hey, don't do this. Come on. Bullshit. Started at home, started with mom and dad, not giving a shit, basically pumping this kid up to do what he's done. You know, laughing at him, acting like he's a buddy of theirs instead of a kid.
Molding him right.
Yeah, they're grooming him for this shit. Hi, Cheryl. I see your little hi, honey. Okay, well, I'm going to mute my big mouth a minute and let's listen to hers.
End quote. On November 30th, 21, the morning of the shooting, the next day, Ethan Crumbly's teacher came upon a note on Ethan's desk which alarmed her to the point that she took a picture of it on her cell phone. The note contained the following: a drawing of a semi-automatic handgun pointing at the words, quote, "The thoughts won't stop, help me," end quote. In another section of the note was a drawing of a bullet with the following words above that bullet, quote, "Blood everywhere," end quote. Between the drawing of the gun and the bullet is a drawing of a person who appears to have been shot twice and bleeding. Below that figure is a drawing of a laughing emoji. Further down the drawing are the words, quote, "My life is useless," end quote. And to the right of that are the words, quote, "The world is dead," end quote. As a result, James and Jennifer Crumbly were immediately summoned to the school. A school counselor came to the classroom and removed the shooter and brought him to the office with his backpack. Counselor obtained the drawing, but the shooter had already altered it.
Okay, guys, that's pretty crazy what's going on here. I got a question here. I'd like to address this. And it's Deidre. Thank you for being here, honey. How do we know they are not dead? We don't know they're not dead. What if this youngster killed his parents? Now
the lawyer.
Yeah, go ahead, babe.
The lawyer told the DA that they're in contact with them and that they're not on the run. They're going to turn themselves in.
Mm-hmm.
But the sheriff said, no, that's not true. They are on the run. So
yeah, their attorney said they were going to turn themselves in, but then the law enforcement said they did an about face and they're not turning themselves in. They're on the run. I think the attorney was probably buying them some time because it's been all afternoon and nobody's seen them. But you know, they're not dead. They're not dead because the attorney has contacted them. But I wouldn't put it past a kid like this to not do them in too.
Good question, though.
Yeah, good. Thank you, honey. Oh, that's way different then. Yeah. Okay, let's listen to. I'm going to shut my big mouth again for a little bit while we listen to some of hers.
The drawings of the gun and the bloody figure were scratched out along with the words, "Help me," and "My life is useless." "The world is dead," and "Blood everywhere." Those were all altered by him. At the meeting, James and Jennifer Crumbly were shown the drawing and were advised that they were required to get their son into counseling within 48 hours. Both James and Jennifer Crumbly failed to ask their son if he had his gun with him or where his gun was located, and failed to inspect his backpack for the presence of the gun, which he had with him. James and Jennifer Crumbly resisted the idea of then leaving the school at that time, of their son leaving the school at that time. Instead, James and Jennifer Crumbly left the high school without their son. He was returned to the classroom. When the news of the active shooter at Oxford High School had been made public, Jennifer Crumbly texted to her son at 1:20 p.m., quote, "Ethan, don't do it," end quote. At 1:37 p.m., James Crumbly called 911, reporting that a gun was missing from his house and he believed his son may be the shooter. Further investigation revealed that the Sig Sauer 9mm handgun purchased by James Crumbly was stored unlocked in a drawer in James and Jennifer's bedroom. The gun recovered from the shooter at the school after the shooting was the same gun that was purchased by his father, James Crumbly, on November 26, 2021, in the presence of his son. Based upon the foregoing, the Oakland County Prosecutor's Office requested and received, authorized, we charged 4 counts of involuntary manslaughter as to James Crumbly and 4 counts of involuntary manslaughter as to Jennifer Crumbly.
Yes. Hi, Lisa. Love your statement here. Sounds like mom found something at home. See, something happened, you guys, from the time that mom and dad was at that school until the time this kid started shooting. Something happened. Mom and dad went home, because it was all lighthearted, funny, kind of haha when she was on her way. But she on her way to the school, to talk to the principal about Ethan. That was all funny. That's when she texted and said, LOL, Ethan, I'm not mad at you. You just got to get better at not getting caught. Now, she thought it was funny then. But when they decided to let Ethan go back to class and they went home, either they looked in that thing in the drawer that they said the gun was in, this is all speculation. They said that gun was in a drawer in their bedroom. Either they looked in that drawer and found out that gun was gone, or maybe they did find a notebook or a journal. You're right, Lisa. They might have found a notebook or a journal or something stating, I'm going to kill people at school.
Seen something on social media,
Yeah,
which all the kids knew about.
Yeah, they got tipped off some way. And she figured it out. Mom and dad figured out he was going to kill somebody, and they figured out that gun was gone, and they figured out that he had it on him. Although, it wasn't a leap to figure this out, even if they didn't detect something at home. And that's when she panicked and texted Ethan. And what the shit? You text him instead of calling him and saying, hey, Ethan, I'll tell you what, don't kill anybody, okay? She could have called him and said, hey, no, stop what you're doing right there. If you're in that big of a panic, what are you doing texting him and going, hey, Ethan, don't do it. You text him that? So you think your kid is going to kill people. So instead of calling him and going, stop right now, stop, no, you text him and went, hey, don't do it. This whole thing is upside down for me. I can't believe this shit. This is crazy as hell. The parents are crazy. The mom and dad are psychotic, unlawful a-holes. And this kid, I don't know what they're grooming him for. I think for what he accomplished in the end. Cheryl says, Mom found the drawer where the gun was supposed to be and it was empty. Yeah. Yep. See, something, I'm thinking that's probably what happened.
That's probably what tipped her off to text to the boy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then this is what happened next. Deidre's right. They probably destroyed or tried to destroy any possible manifesto or whatever. Who knows what else they found? Yeah, that's definitely what happened. Some shit went down when they went home. And saying, okay, go get him from the class now. Yeah, it's not a big thing, is it? I'm with you. Wow. I think it is a big thing. These kids' lives are on the line here. These are kids. He killed a bunch of kids and their lives are on the line. And mom and dad figured it out, but I think they already had an inkling as to what this kid could do. They may not have known he would go this far. Something's going on. For one, they're an accessory. They're an accessory at this point. All right, I'm going to let her talk a minute, and we're going to talk about it a little bit more, guys.
Happy to take questions now.
Prosecutor. Last night, the superintendent.
One moment.
Posted,
Go ahead, Mr. Chiquette.
last night, the superintendent posted a video and suggested that as a result of that meeting, they saw no reason to contact law enforcement if there was no danger. Have you seen his video that was posted to YouTube last night? And is there any thought you can share on that based on what you said today?
I viewed portions of it and was briefed on the contents of the video.
Were there any missteps by the school? Should they have reported right away to law enforcement after seeing those images?
Any individual who had the opportunity to stop this tragedy should have done so. The question is, what did they know, and when did they know it? I've laid out the facts that were sworn to this afternoon and are the basis for the charges here. Did you have a question?
Yes. You said, we need to do better. There needs to be change to prevent tragedies like this. It's extremely rare for parents to be charged in school shootings. Are you trying to set a new standard, or is the evidence simply overwhelming in this case?
I have tremendous compassion and empathy for parents who have children who are struggling and at risk for whatever reason. And I am by no means saying that an active shooter situation should always result in a criminal prosecution against parents. But the facts of this case are so egregious. Reading this document, looking at it, reading the words, "help me," with a gun, blood everywhere. This doesn't just impact me as a prosecutor and a lawyer, it impacts me as a mother. The notion that a parent could read those words and also know that their son had access to a deadly weapon that they gave him is unconscionable, and I think it's criminal. It is criminal.
Does the parents act as straw buyers for their son who was underage and not allowed to own a firearm in Michigan?
I believe that the facts probably indicate that that's the result, but that would be a federal charge, and if that's appropriate to make that, I'm confident that they will. Question?
What level of responsibility do you expect from parents in a situation like this?
Well, again, I don't think that this is a unique or unusual interpretation. When you give your child access to a deadly weapon, when you indicate that you're buying a weapon and you sign that it's for yourself, yet clearly based on the statements of the shooter, the statements of mom, that was his gun. And then we have the searching of ammunition. We have mom saying, at least you didn't get caught. We have the next morning drawing essentially almost explicitly what he was about to do. I mean, I expect parents and everyone to have humanity and to step in and stop a potential tragedy.
Are they in custody already?
I'm not going to make a comment on that.
Can you give us some more detail on the meeting between the parents and the school? You said they're resistant to having their son pulled out of class that day. Hours later he went on to do the shooting, and there was no communication from the parents that he may have access to a handgun, or maybe in possession of a handgun after they had been, publicly on social media.
I can confirm what I just stated, which is that they did not indicate to school officials or to their son and inquire about the whereabouts of the gun or the existence of the gun, to my knowledge.
But the school had pushed to have him removed, and they were resistant. Can you give us more detail on that?
I'm not aware. I can't comment on it at this time. He was not removed from the school. He was returned back to class with his backpack, where we have reason to believe the gun was stored in the backpack. Did you have a question right here?
Did school officials ask to inspect the backpack or ask questions about whether the child had, or the shooter had, a weapon with him?
Not that we have been advised, no.
Do you know if between the first incident and the second at the school, the two teachers or whoever were each aware of what had transpired? Like the teacher number 2, was that teacher aware of what happened on day 1 or the prior day?
I can't speak to that. I don't know.
And the other thing I have is for the families. Have you briefed them on what your investigation has found, specifically with the school?
I have spoken to the parents and indicated the nature of the charges that might be coming. I have not spoken about the school. And
what was their reaction in terms of in your communications with them about some of this?
these people are in incredibly deep, horrific pain and grief. Their reaction is as you expect. They will want anyone who had the opportunity to stop this from happening to have done it.
Will the parents be arrested today, or will they be allowed to turn themselves in?
I can't comment on that.
Is your office looking at anybody else for charges, maybe school officials?
The investigation's ongoing.
Does the school have any reason to believe, or the teachers have any reason to believe that he had a weapon on him that day?
I've stated what was known to the individuals, what the search indicated in ammunition, what the document, I stated every single sentence that was on that document. So I suppose you should draw your own conclusion. The conclusion I draw is that there was absolute reason to believe this individual was dangerous and disturbed, and I'll leave it at that.
Is the school district fully cooperating with the investigation at this point?
I haven't conducted the investigation, so I can't say.
Prior to the shooting, did the district superintendent's office know about the issues that happened in the high school? Did it stay in the high school, or did someone in the high school actually go to the superintendent's office or the administration and say, this is what we have going on?
I don't have any information about that at this time.
Hindsight being what it is, how was this young man allowed to go back to class, given the circumstances you've described, the severity you're talking about? You mentioned it's still under investigation, and they're victims too. I'm not trying to assess blame, but yet they let him back in class with this type of severity. How does that happen?
I'm not going to give you a political answer, and I'm not going to cover for anybody, and I'm just going to say what I think, and that is, of course he shouldn't have gone back to that classroom. Of course he shouldn't have. And I don't have ill feelings or negative feelings about anyone, and but of course he should have. He should.
Okay, you guys, I think she's coming in with common sense should have came in place somewhere. But as Chief over here says, common sense isn't common.
That's right.
But I think what she's trying to say is, I think common sense should have came in play here. She finally broke down, and now she's throwing the truth out there because she couldn't contain it anymore. This is a real feeling that she's having.
Should not have been allowed to go back to that class. And I believe that that is a universal position. And I'm not going to chastise or attack, but yeah, I mean, it.
But you have the task of reviewing whether there's criminal negligence there.
I do. And then the investigation is ongoing.
Were these involuntary manslaughter charges the strongest possible charges you were considering for the parents?
It's the strongest possible charge that we could prove and that there's probable cause to charge.
So obviously it's illegal for a minor to own a handgun. What are Michigan's laws regarding bringing a child to a firing range and practicing with them? States have different rules on that. I'm not sure where we're at.
Good question. Michigan's laws are woefully inadequate. We don't have a safe storage law. We're not legally required to store your weapon in a safe manner. Children are allowed to attend with their parents so long as their parents is present. So the answer to that question is we don't have strong enough laws.
Have you uncovered any evidence from before the gun purchase and the days leading up to this that shows what his state of mind was when the parents were aware, what his state of mind was leading up to the day of the shooting?
There's evidence about state of mind prior to that day. I can't comment on it, and it is not related to the allegations that we're making at this time. Yes.
Were any of the teachers injured in the shooting one of the teachers who made any of the complaints?
I don't believe so, but I can't say that for certain.
Prosecutor, how long was the plot? You described it as premeditated. How long had it been meditated?
Long enough. Yes.
At one point,
1 second. Go ahead.
You said that at one point the father became aware that the gun was missing. Is there any indication that he might have known the gun was missing before the shooting or during or before that meeting with the principals?
Upon hearing that there was an active shooter on that day, Mr. Crumbly drove straight to his home to look for his gun.
So tell me that the parents didn't have an inkling that this kid could do this, because his dad hauled ass home and went looking for that gun. As soon as he found out active shooter, he put two and two together. So tell me they didn't have any idea that Ethan could pull something like this off. They knew Ethan could pull this off.
Yeah, they definitely knew something was going wrong in that kid's head. And they didn't like drive to the school to find out if the kid was one of the injured. They drove home to find out if their kid was the injurer.
Exactly. Most people hearing that there's an active shooter at a school that your child is at, right away you're on the horn to the school going, where's my kid? Have you seen my kid? You're going to drive down to that school. You're going to run up there and you're going to look for your baby. And they did none of the above. They drove home the other way from the school to look for the gun, which they just bought him. They were wanting to cover their own ass. They were not looking to see if Ethan got hurt, because they knew Ethan didn't get hurt. They knew he didn't. All right, I'll let her continue. Wait, let me address Cheryl here for a second. I love this. Cheryl, she says, when my grandson coughed in class last week, they jerked him out of there in a hot second. This kid had drawings of blood and guns, and they let him stay. Crazy, huh? I'm with you, Cheryl. This is a nutty cookie situation. Okay, I'll let her go on, because she looks like she's coming unraveled too.
I think that's all I need to say about that.
Could the gun shop perhaps be liable if they could see that the weapon was being purchased for a 15-year-old, not really for the father?
Based on what we've reviewed, the gun shop owner is not under investigation.
Do you know at any point during these meetings with the counselors and the parents if there was any talks to reach out to the on-site SRO officer with these concerns?
Whether they did or not, or
if there was talks to reach out to them, why they didn't, if there was concern enough to bring the parents in and to have these meetings?
I don't know. I don't think we have at this point full statements that I've reviewed.
A lot of, we've been here now for a few days and talked to some law enforcement and sheriff's people, and people are really angry at the school. I mean, obviously there's issues with the parents, but there is a lot of anger with this school. I know it may not be your responsibility to address it, but since you're the first person in all these days to talk about this, what is your response to that?
I'd be angry too, and I am. But that doesn't mean that there's a criminal culpability. But yes, I'd be angry. I would be angry. I am angry. I'm angry as a mother. I'm angry as the prosecutor. I'm angry as a person that lives in this county. I'm angry. There were a lot of things that could have been so simple to prevent. And yes, there was a perfectly executed response, and he was apprehended immediately, and we have great law enforcement and good training. But I said before, 4 kids were murdered, and then 7 more injured. So yes, I think we should all be very angry, and we should take a very hard look at what is in place in terms of criminal responsibility, what gun owners are required to do. And again, I will say this every single hour on the hour, and I think that I have. I am not here to say that people shouldn't own guns. I know a lot of people who own guns, but they do so responsibly. And it's your responsibility, it's your duty to make sure that you don't give access to this deadly weapon to somebody that you have reason to believe is going to harm someone. And it is our position that on that morning, particularly that morning, but also the day before, but that morning, looking at that drawing, it's impossible not to conclude that there was a reason to believe he was going to hurt somebody.
Prosecutor, have you been given any explanation as to why the school resource officer was not included in that meeting that morning at the school?
I don't have any information. One more question, yes?
Can I ask two?
Yes.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Can you confirm the date that Ethan, or the suspect, was searching about ammo on his phone?
It was the day before the shooting.
Okay. And can you confirm the name of the gun shop where they got it? Where they got the gun?
It was Acme.
And then one more question.
You said two.
Were
Okay.
classes were they on Zoom the days leading up to Thanksgiving, and was that related to this threat?
I can't speak to that. I know that there were in-person classes on that day. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, that's the end of it.
Oh yeah, I want to stop it right there. Well, what do you guys think? You think mom and dad is responsible in any way? Yeah. What are you thinking?
I think that they're responsible. They should never have been a gun owner. They're not responsible enough to own a pop gun, let alone a real gun. Letting their kid have access to that gun just is not right.
Keep going, Dave. I'm trying to look at something here.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, when you're a gun owner, you're supposed to know some safety rules on it. And one of the safety rules is always secure your gun in a safe manner. Always keep it away from somebody that you don't want access to your guns. And they definitely broke that rule. So I'm kind of glad that mom and dad are up for these charges. And manslaughter, I guess, is as much as they can get, but I would want more.
Yeah, I would want more than that. I would want more than that. Because come on, it's too crazy. Let's go back and see if we can find something about the manhunt real fast. I think this is about it. I think this is a newer one. There's so many, there's so many stuff. This is new or not. I'm going to go ahead and put it on in just a minute. Let's see. Let me see if this is a new one. Okay, guys, let's listen to this a minute because I'm not sure if this is a new one.
Well, it says 3 hours ago.
Oh, it's 3 hours ago, but it still will update us somewhat because we don't have that much information on this.
The families of those 4 students that were claimed. School shooter might be charged and were charged then afterwards, were charged in connection with their child's alleged crime. The prosecutor in the case says that actions went far beyond negligence and that the gun seems to have just been freely available. Again, that according to the prosecutors in this case, and the prosecutor that we heard from in this case is Karen McDonald of the Oakland County prosecution. So again, let's go full screen and display this as large as we can. There is currently a manhunt underway for the couple on your screen, and there's a whole lot more to this story that we're going to be breaking down. Now, the superintendent for the district posted a YouTube video saying that the teenager, Ethan, was called to the office before the shooting, but that no discipline was warranted based on what they had discussed in that meeting with the superintendent's office. Now, the leader of Oxford Community Schools said the high school looks like a war zone and will not be ready for reopening for weeks, but he repeatedly credited students and staff on how they responded to the violence. Just a terrible but
as it's being argued, of course, on social media and has been argued over the last couple of days, was this preventable based on some of the signs that were out there for the parents and for school administrators? The morning of the shooting, Ethan Crumbly's teacher, came across a note on his desk that contained a drawing of a gun, pointed at words, "The thoughts won't stop. Help me." And the drawing contained an image of a person who was shot. Parents were summoned to the school, but Ethan was then returned to the classroom as this meeting was conducted in the school in Oxford Township, at Oxford High School. Ethan Crumbly, additionally, was searching ammunition on his cell phone, according to officials, searching for ammo on his cell phone during class, and a teacher reported it. The school called and emailed the parents, but got no response. Now, detectives have said that Ethan's mom texted him, "LOL, I'm not mad at you. You have to learn how not to get caught." Not the behavior that you would expect from parents anywhere, let alone parents of somebody who, by all indications, everything that we've heard and reporting on this story, was dealing with mental health difficulties and struggling.
Oh my God, you guys, can you believe that the parents of these children that were killed or injured are listening to this shit? You know, they're listening to him say, "Hey, a teacher seen that he was looking to buy ammo. Nobody sent him home." Okay? He was looking to buy ammo and nobody sent him home. Knowing, why would you be buying ammo? Because you got a gun. Can you imagine what the families are thinking when they're listening to this? Nobody sent him home. And then the next day, they called everybody in for the meeting of the minds. We all know that. He went to the principal's office, and him, his mom, his dad, the principal are all sitting there. And up comes these notes, right? Hey, there's these writings, and they actually had the writings before he demolished them because he didn't want anybody to see them. But before Ethan destroyed these notes, that teacher had already got pictures of them, so they were made available for this school principal. Okay, those notes were made available. They were not seen by them and then sent him back to class. No, they went over these notes and what they said. Blood everywhere, drawing of the gun, you know, the voices won't stop. And the families are hearing this, you guys. I know we're hearing it as a collective, but the families of these poor children are hearing this. Don't you think that they are so freaking pissed right now? It's ridiculous how angry they are. Imagine if you were one of the families and you're hearing this news report right now going, "Look at all these signs that your child could still be alive if just one person would have acted."
If I was a parent from one of those dead kids, I'd be on the manhunt with my gun trying to find the mom and dad.
Oh, I would help.
I would definitely help.
Yeah, if I was the parents of one of them and I found out these two a-holes right here were on the run, oh, hell yeah, I'm going to help you find them.
Yeah.
Or maybe you'll never
Bring
find
your
them if
toe
I
tag
find
with
them.
you because
right?
they'll find them that way.
Yeah. Maybe you'll never find them if I find them first after they've killed your child. And here
yeah.
comes Christmas, guys.
Yeah.
How's Christmas going to be this year? And you know these kids probably had presents waiting for them. They were excited. These kids were excited because the holidays are coming. Look at these parents. They're going to be burying their children on the holidays. And they're hearing this. They're hearing this guy and the DA and all of them say, "Look, these parents had plenty of signs. The school had plenty of signs. Other people knew this kid was a whack job. I mean, he's putting it on social media. Who dropped the ball? Everyone. To me, it seems like everyone dropped the ball on this one. Usually you can point your finger at one thing in a case. You know, we've had several cases where you can go, oh, well, Aiden Fucci's mom dropped the ball. Or, of course, Brian Laundrie's parents.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, usually in cases you could find one person to really point the finger at and go, God, that one dropped the ball and that's why this happened. But on this one, who do you even point the damn finger at? Everybody? Everybody? Mom, dad, the school, the people that knew about it, the social media post that he put out there. You know, some kids knew about it too, you guys. He was not keeping this a secret. He wanted those kids to know because he wanted to be famous, Ethan did. And on one post, he said, I'm about to be famous. I know they're not saying that one yet, but he's got several little posts that he put out that were still indicative of what he could do and what he was about to do. I am so sorry. I have to say right now, I'm so sorry for the parents of these innocent victims. I'm so sorry to each and every one of you, and you're definitely in my prayers. Because your little heart, yes, everyone dropped the ball for you guys. And you're in our prayers in hopes that it gets better for you, but I don't know how it could. All right, we'll listen to a little more as this information comes out because we didn't have this information earlier.
A 15-year-old that was struggling mightily with mental health, or at least exhibiting signs of struggling with his mental health. And now, not only do we have Ethan Crumbly charged as an adult, which is, again, folks who know how crime works, being charged as an adult is significant when you have someone who is 15 years of age, a minor being charged as an adult, but the crimes, of course, warrant those charges based on what happened that day inside the school. Those crimes, there are a dozen charges here, a dozen crimes: murder, attempted murder, terrorism, all for the shooting that occurred at Oxford High School. And for those of you unfamiliar, Oakland County, where Oxford High School is located. This all happening Tuesday. That's roughly, as we were live on stream, we were talking about it, 30 miles north of Detroit. 4 students were tragically killed. 7 more people were injured, and 3 were in hospitals in stable condition of the last report that I had learned or read. So I see that we have a sizable audience here on Facebook Live, on YouTube Live. What we're going to do now, we're going to keep this image on screen. The whole purpose of this, of course, is to alert as many folks on social media as possible. And yes, we're live in Tampa on WFLA Now, and we focus WFLA, FLA being Florida. We focus very much on Florida stories, and we do have another major breaking news story happening in Florida that we're going to get to out of Pasco County. 8 on your side's Justin Shecker is heading to the scene of that breaking news story, so we have more coming your way, and we're going to be live on this stream for another maybe 15 minutes or so before we have to get ready for that breaking news story coming up. But we reach a international audience here on WFLA Now because of the internet, because of Facebook, because of YouTube. So we're going to continue to share out this image in the hope that somebody sees the Crumblys here. Jennifer and James Crumbly, the parents of Ethan Crumbly, the sole shooting suspect, or the sole suspect in the shooting that claimed 4 lives, 4 student lives, young lives.
Okay, guys, I'm going to step in and say, I don't think they're going to turn themselves in. What do you think?
I think they're going to run until they run out of room and get caught by some good citizen out there.
Yeah,
that will turn them into the police.
Oh yeah, I think they're going to get caught. I don't know how long. How long do you guys think it'll be before they get caught? Because they're going to. They can't run forever. But what I'm looking at is they weren't going to turn themselves in.
No.
They were never going to turn themselves in.
They could be 500 miles away by the time sun comes up.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to be somewhere.
Well, their attorney has bought them some time too. You know, like Roberta Laundrie bought Brian some time in the old Swamperoo. Well, their attorneys have bought them some time too by saying they're going to turn themselves in. Just wait, law enforcement, wait, give us a few more hours. They're going to turn themselves in. That was buying them time the whole time they were running.
Yeah.
Because you don't sit around and think, maybe we'll turn ourselves in. Maybe we'll turn ourselves in. Oh, shit, let's run.
Yeah.
That's not how that goes. How it goes is we got to get the hell out of Dodge because we're about to get some murder charges here, just like our little Ethan.
Maybe they're just trying to get one last weekend before they have to face reality. It is Friday.
Well,
maybe they'll turn themselves in on Monday.
Well, maybe.
And spend a large portion of their life in jail along with their son.
Yeah, that they created. I don't know. I mean, I'm thinking they're going to get picked up. I don't think they're going to be on the run that long. I don't know because there's a lot of trails to follow on these two. I think they'll apprehend them pretty quick. But I do know they weren't going to turn themselves in, and I do know their attorney bought them some time. So who knows how far they are by now?
Yep.
You know. But anyway, guys, we haven't ate yet, so we're going to go get something to eat. So we're going to wrap it up for today. And I want to thank all of you guys for joining us. You're wonderful. We love having you here. And we will get back to you when we find out a little more info, which may be soon. We definitely will go live if they get apprehended. Okay?
That's right.
So thanks for joining us, guys. And we'll see you next time. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.